NBC News chief data analyst Steve Kornacki joins me now from the big board. And Steve, take us through this poll and how is it concerning? In what ways do you see this being a factor ahead of next year's midterm elections?
Yeah, Kelly, ahead of next year's midterms and certainly in the wake of those humbling elections in November, the off-year elections for Republicans in Virginia and New Jersey, we see Trump's approval rating in this poll at 42%. Now, back in the spring, start of his second term, this same poll took a look. Trump was at 45% then. So it's not a huge drop, but it is a downward tick for him. His approval rating, of course, both terms as president has kind of existed in a pretty narrow range. This is getting towards the lower part of that range right there, certainly consistent with those kinds of results we saw for Republicans for Trump's party in New Jersey and Virginia. And then there's that question about cracks in his own base potentially. So taking a look inside the Republican Party right here, we were looking at the depth of enthusiasm for Trump. So these aren't folks just who approve of Trump's performance as president. We're looking at the folks who say they strongly approve of Trump's performance as president. And among Republicans, that number is now 52% in this poll. And again, earlier this year, when we checked in the same question, it was 60% of Republicans who strongly approved of Trump's performance. So that's down 8 points there. So maybe a bit of slackening, a little bit of softening there of the depth of that enthusiasm for Trump within his own party. And then you showed this one a minute ago, but I think this is also significant. Is there a broader shift taking place in the Republican Party, kind of philosophically here, asking Republicans, do you consider yourself mainly a supporter of the Make America Great Again movement, Trump's movement, or the Republican Party itself? 50-50 right now is that split. When we asked this back in the spring, it was tilted more towards Trump's side, more towards the MAGA side, 57-43. So is that a notable shift there about how Republicans are just sort of starting to think about themselves? Now, in terms of the issue agenda, looking forward to the midterms next year, what matters most to you? You see the economy number one there. You see health care up there. In between, I do think this was interesting, Kelly. 23% say threats to democracy. What that's driven by Democrats, by Democratic voters. When you ask just Democrats what the most important issue to them is, by far in this poll, they say threats to democracy. It's independents and Republicans, for that matter, who will cite the economy. But, of course, independents, that's where you're going to find a lot of the swing voters who are going to move elections here. When you talk about the economy, what matters most, just from an economic standpoint, it's inflation, it's health care costs, and that is where you see Republicans paying a price in this poll, asking voters here, which party do you trust more on rising prices? That blue means it's Democrats by a 6-point margin. So, again, you see independents there, not enthusiastic about how Trump's handling the economy, and really part of that move towards Democrats on the inflation issue and on the question of health care costs. 14 points, voters say they trust Democrats more than Republicans now on health care costs. So these two major issues that at least at this point figure to loom large over the midterms, Democrats opening up an advantage in this poll, Kelly.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.